guess we're sticking with all three because no one's told me not to use one anymore. And it is time for this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Week 13, it's either gonna be a really lucky episode or a really unlucky episode. I don't know. If you've never joined us for this series before, people send in submissions of stories where they're not sure if they acted appropriately or not, and we read the story and we tell them if they're a good apple or a bad apple. I tell you guys here on the video what my opinion is, and then in the comment section you guys tell me yours, and I love to read them. Sometimes we agree and sometimes we don't, but that's okay. I swear all video you're gonna see me like messing with my face because my hair won't stop getting stuck in my lip gloss. We're gonna get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for ruining my classmate's career? That escalated quickly. I, 20 female, am a college student. In my country, a lot of students hunt for internships because it helps getting a better pay package during placements. I've been casually talking with this guy, Kyle, who also is my classmate. He was all friendly at the beginning, but then started flirting recently. I've never once flirted with him, and I've always just ignored his moves, but last week he asked me out on a date, to which I said no. In fact, I even apologized to him for having him think that somewhere in our conversation I might have led him on. I told him I really wasn't interested. He ghosted me, and I didn't think anything of it. But 2 days later, he texted me again, once again, asking me out on a date. I told him I already said no, to which he replied, he gave me time to think it over, and I should be grateful for the second chance. Not gonna lie, I got really annoyed and told him to F off. He got really mad and called me all the names under the moon, and then just sat and slut-shamed me for it. I blocked him, but then he got his friends to contact me and cuss me out too. I got super frustrated and called him out on my story, along with attaching screenshots of our chat. Around 300 people saw, and one among them was our placement mentor, a 4th-year student. Again, I didn't think much of it because I blocked all the people who were bullying me. However, our placement mentor saw this kind of behavior as unacceptable and appalling, so he reported this to our department head. Apparently, in my college, this kind of behavior is labeled as harassment, and this punishment can lead to a suspension. The department head and placement mentor called me into their office and got my statement for everything that had happened. I showed them everything. Kyle ended up getting suspended for 3 months due to his behavior. He was even about to get a very good internship with a government company, but with the suspension, that internship is long gone. Our Professor Smith loves Kyle, and he called me into his office demanding that I go make another statement to the department chair saying that I forgive Kyle and that I was really wrong to lead him on. The department chair called me, Kyle, Kyle's parents, and 2 of our professors into his office asking if I was willing to forgive Kyle and let the suspension kind of go away. Somewhere inside of me, I wanted to see Kyle suffer, so I told him no. I was harassed and he needed to be punished. Kyle's mom berated me in front of everybody, saying that I'm the one that led her son on, and I'm doing this purposefully because he's my competitor. Her son was the real victim here. The department chair didn't listen to a word that she said and gave Kyle his rightful punishment. Well, at least according to me. So now, our internship started and a few of my friends said that I really took it too far. All he did was call me names while we were texting, and I got him suspended for that? Some of my other classmates called me a bully and a jerk for ruining his bright future. Professor Smith called me back outside today and told me that he's extremely disappointed in me, and it's because of girls like me that potential careers of men are ruined. This really made me cry, and I'm rethinking whether what I did was too extreme or not. So, am I the bad apple? Hold on. Boy tries to impress girl. Boy asks out girl and gets told no. He doesn't take no for an answer and is like, I'm gonna give you another chance to pick the right answer. And she still says no, so he resorts to bullying her, right? She blocks him so he can no longer bully her, and he gets his friends to bully her. She calls him out online, someone else brings it to the school's attention and he gets punished, and it's her fault? I don't math well, but that math just does not add up for me. The behavior that Kyle is exhibiting is like, that needs to get checked immediately. A motto that I have really been living by lately is, You're not gonna like everyone in life, and that's okay. Not everyone's gonna like you, you're not gonna like everybody. But there's a difference between not liking somebody and going out of your way to bully them. That's not okay. If it's school policy that harassment and bullying is suspension, then he received the correct punishment. That Professor Smith, girls like you are why men are losing their careers. Maybe the men that he's talking about should learn to control themselves. Maybe don't cuss girls out, and maybe don't slut shame them, and maybe, take no for an answer. That seems like a better course of action. Like, if you don't want to be punished for harassment, take no for an answer. I don't think this girl's the bad apple at all. Not gonna lie, I'm very disappointed in the department chair, who in the end did the right thing, but for the department chair to bring everybody in, including Kyle and his parents, and to ask in front of everybody, hey, sir, you wanna just sweep this under the rug? That's, what? Why would you even have that conversation in front of Kyle and his parents? Why would you even give Kyle's mom the opportunity to sit there and berate that girl like that? As if she hasn't already been berated enough by Kyle and his friends getting all upset that she wouldn't date him. And as for all the friends that are like, you took this too far, she didn't do anything. She didn't report it. She didn't say, hey, this is what I want the punishment to be. They said, hey, he did this. This is the punishment that fits those actions. Would you rather give him the punishment or sweep it under the rug? And she said, I don't want to sweep it under the rug. That's it. She didn't do anything. She didn't ask for his internship to be taken away. She didn't ask for the mentor to bring it to the school. She didn't ask for that stuff to happen. She was given two options: sweep it under the rug or give him the punishment. I personally believe that it would be a disservice to women in her area to sweep it under the rug and tell them that it's okay to do to somebody else. Hopefully, this situation has shown him take no for an answer, and then it won't happen to someone else in the future. I know there's gonna be so many men in the comments that are like, mah, 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 mah. And you know what? To that I say, keep boosting my video, friend. You're just making me money. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for telling my classmate to cover up her legs? So this sounds weird, but I'm in the 8th grade and we're doing senior trips all of this week. Yesterday we went to a trampoline park. One of my classmates, who was a girl, wore shorts. She has eczema and all these hyperpigmentation spots on her legs, and it's kind of weird. On her right leg she has a really big one, and on the left leg she has a bunch of smaller ones. They're all peeled, so it's just hyperpigmentation that's left. Another one of our classmates, who's also my friend, kept talking to me about the girl's spots. He even jokingly referred to them as cow spots or giraffe spots. The girl in our class heard us and got really upset. She told us, leave my legs out of your conversation. I get enough crap from strangers thinking I'm gonna give their kids a disease. My friend told her that she was being rude, that we were having a private conversation and she needed to mind her business. I backed him up and said, if you don't want people talking about your legs, maybe you should just cover them up. Well then, one of the girl's friends came to play knight in shining armor and said, cover up and die of a heat stroke? Because it's only getting hotter here in the Bronx and no one is wearing sweats all the time. A nearby teacher heard us arguing and broke it up, but I don't think I did anything wrong. Her spots are out in the open for anyone to see, and if she didn't want people talking about them, she should just cover them up. If she doesn't, that's her choice, but she can't be mad when they come up in other people's conversations. So, am I the bad apple? Wow, the insensitivity and the entitlement! Well, she has this medical thing that she can't control, and she should just be uncomfortable if she doesn't want me making fun of her. Comparing them to cow spots? This is a middle school girl, and you're comparing her to a cow? You really don't think that anything you said was wrong. This is a message for all the kids out there, all the people out there really, I know it's not just kids, who genuinely think it's funny to make fun of and bully somebody over things that they're born with and can't change. Whether it be hair color, eye color, eczema, psoriasis, hyperpigmentation, skin color, how high-pitched somebody's voice is. These are things they can't change, okay? These are things that these individuals already have to live with. Take your own advice and mind your dang business. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. I guarantee you, Guarantee 100% there are things about yourself that are not perfect. If you don't want people making fun of you for your awful personality that you can't help, mind your business about other things that people can't help. I'm really disappointed that teacher heard that argument and didn't do more than just cut it out. Y'all should have been written up. I would have written you up in a heartbeat. I'm sure there's gonna be some kids in the comment section that are like, oh, well, you didn't know any better. He's in 8th grade, okay? You're what, a preteen at that point, 13 years old at most? And it's not even like they were like, oh, well, we didn't know it would upset her. Yeah, you did, because she told you, stop talking about my spots, and you argued about why you are entitled to talk about her spots. And now I feel wrong calling them spots. You're not entitled to talk about her condition. And when she says, this is bothering me, please stop, then you stop. You apologize profusely, and then you stop. You don't argue about why you're entitled to make fun of somebody. And one more message to all the people who genuinely think it's fun or funny to make fun of others. I hope you get the hug that you need today. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for calling out my sister's selfishness? I, 25 female, live with my husband and our 2 sons, 3-year-old and 6 months old. We've been struggling financially, and we both work in the service industry where it's very difficult to get time off. So my parents are nice enough to pay for our son's daycare so we can work. My little sister Jess, 17 female, got into a prestigious Ivy League this year. She received financial aid, so she won't have to pay the whole insane amount of money, but housing and reduced tuition still comes out to about $10,000 a year. She also got into one of our local state schools where she got a full ride and wouldn't have to pay anything. But she still decided on the Ivy League, and our parents agreed to pay the $10,000 a year. My parents recently sat me down and told me they would no longer be able to pay for my children's daycare because they're going to be paying for Jess's college. Their excuse was that they paid similar amounts of money to my college. I'm super frustrated because I went to the cheapest college available for me, and I think Jess should have to do the same. We're all proud of her, but I feel like she's putting her ego over her nephew's. We simply can't afford daycare, and I'll likely have to quit my job, which means we could be evicted. I told all of this to Jess on the phone and politely asked her to contact the state school and see if they can still take her. Maybe even have her take a gap year if not. She refused. She's still set on going to the Ivy and having our parents pay. I got really angry and I called her selfish and immature. My husband agrees with me, but our parents are mad and won't answer any of my phone calls. So did I overstep? Am I the bad apple? Hold on. You went to college and had your parents help you financially with that, and you're upset that they're doing the same thing for your sister? She got into an Ivy League. That's amazing. Congratulations to her. She should be so proud of herself. That's a huge accomplishment. And you want her to not go because of your household's financial struggles? How is that her fault that you guys are having financial problems? I don't know the extent of your financial problems. I don't know what happened or why you have them. Genuinely, sometimes a family's financial situation just isn't their fault. It's really bad luck. But that doesn't mean she shouldn't be able to chase her dreams because you're going through a financial struggle. Your parents helped their children with school and college so that they can go off and get jobs and be supportive of their own families. That's what they're doing. That's why they helped you with school, and that's why they're helping Jess with school. Your parents are not obligated to pay for your children. That's why they supported you, so that you could support your children. That's why they're supporting Jess, so that she can go and get her own family and support her children. Grandparents are not financially responsible for their grandchildren. Any little bit helps, and that's awesome that they would want to help out, and that they have been so far, but they aren't obligated to do it. It's not your money, it's their money, and they want to put their children first. You're selfish and immature. Jess is a good apple, the parents are good apples, you're selfish. Figure it out, you're a grown adult with a husband, you two figure it out. I know it's hard and it stinks, you're down on your luck right now, but that's not your parents' and sisters' burden to bear. I'm sorry, it's not. It sucks, and you're not a bad apple for being frustrated about your situation, but you are a bad apple by trying to convince your parents not to support your sister, or by trying to convince your sister not to go to an Ivy League because you want to use your parents' money. Like, that's what makes you a bad apple. You can be frustrated, but you can also be happy for your sister at the same time. Don't be a bad sister. Bad apple, Jess good apple, parents good apple, husband's being a bad apple too. Like, no. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for not allowing my child to go to private school? This one I feel like is going to be very interesting. I'm intrigued. I, male 35, and my girlfriend, female 32, just moved from California to New England, and my daughter Veronica is about to start school. Catherine and I got together 6 years ago and had plans of getting married, but this ultimately fell through because I refused to sign a prenup, which her and her parents wanted. I thought that she would let it go with time, but she never did, so we never got married and never combined finances, so she does make significantly more than I do, but I still pay part of the bills. Catherine and I have been having issues for a while at this point, and we're pretty much just living together for the sake of our daughter, like housemates. We don't argue, but we both know that when she's older, we'll probably split for good. Our little girl's about to start school, and since we moved, we had to pick a new school. I just figured that she'd go to a normal public school, one that's closest to the house, but it seems like Catherine had other ideas. I'll add that Veronica's a very bright little girl. She reads already, and my wife insisted that we have a bilingual nanny so Veronica can be raised multilingual just like Catherine was. I see no issues there. We went to tour the school that Catherine picked out, and I was shocked. It was a private school, like uniforms and all the things. I didn't want my little girl to go there for numerous reasons. First of all, I can't afford private school. Catherine said that she would pay for it, and it's the same school she went to as a kid, and she loved it, but I don't like how expensive it is. 2, I don't want my child to become some snob surrounded by all the rich kids. Catherine said if I hadn't noticed, Veronica is one of the rich kids, but it's up to us to make sure she's not snobby. She told me that the school was amazing, that the teachers were great, and she'd hate for Veronica's progress to be slowed down because in public school, they can't really focus on individual kids. She said that this school is overall safer. She's been hyper-focused on school safety because of everything that's been going on in the country, and she says that there's a lower chance of something like this happening in a private school based on statistics. I argued with her that that's elitist to assume that all public schools are dangerous, and she said that's not what she said and it's not what she meant. She just wants what's best for our daughter. I said I won't allow Veronica to go to private school. She's gonna go to public school. Suddenly, Catherine's demeanor changed. She told me that if I wanted to be an involved father, I should have thought about that before I made her handle all the education and nanny stuff for years. She said that I had no say and she's not going to allow me to sabotage our daughter's education. I tried to argue more, but she left the room and has been ignoring me ever since. I tried to bring up the subject again, but she said it's done, that the school fees are already paid and what's done is done. I saw my family the other day and told them what happened. And my brother agreed with me, but my sister told me that I was wrong and that I'm a jerk. So, I need to know, am I the bad apple for not wanting my daughter at private school? Okay, first of all, I know there's so many people who genuinely think that I hate private schools. I don't care, I could not care less about private schools. What I hate is the assumption that private schools are so much better for the reasons that most people give. Like when they're like, well, public school is indoctrination. Well, like, private school, the parents pick and choose what the kids get to learn. Like, that's a moot point. Or the teachers are so much better. Private school actually doesn't require a degree in teaching or a teaching license or anything like that. And like the teachers at private school who do get a degree in teaching get the same degree in teaching that public teachers get. Like, there's no difference between the teachers who choose to teach in public and the teachers who choose to teach in private, except for the fact that some of the ones in private don't have degrees. And that's really it. That's the only reason that I hate some people's argument of private school's better. The reasons that you think it is aren't really there. But this lady, I don't hate her reasoning for her daughter to want to go to private school because it's her legacy. That makes sense. That's fair. She's not wrong. In public school, I once had a room of 42 kids. Yeah, I can't give individual attention the way that a class of 20 in a private school can. That's a valid point. The safety thing, I guess it depends on if the private school is like gated or not. I guess it just depends. I don't know much about the safety precautions and procedures they have in private schools because I've never worked in one before. But I'm not saying I think it's a bad reason to want to go to private school. I'm just saying I don't know if that's like a correct thing or not. But overall, I don't think that she's bad to want to send her kid to private school. Like, you want to send her, go for it. That's your choice. I do think the reasons that the dad doesn't want Veronica to go to private school are really crappy reasons. Like, what did he say? One, it's too expensive. Well, that's not your problem because she's going to pay for it. What's the other reason? He doesn't want her to be a snob. Do you think there aren't snobby kids in public school? I worked at 2 very snobby schools in our district, okay? At my first school, I had kids getting into Ivies. Yes, that can happen at public school. Karen, I already see you starting to type. Super, super affluent school, very competitive, very snobby. Second school, we had like 2 sides of the extremes. We had super rich kids and then like kids who were struggling and in poverty. So like the fact that you think that it only happens in private school, no, it happens everywhere. And Catherine's exactly right. Like, it's parenting. You know, you teach your kid to not be snobby. You teach them to be a good person. That's your job as a parent. Do I think in this situation that you both have, like, an equal say in your kid's education? Yeah, I do. I think that's fair. But also, I think your reasoning for her not going to private school are stupid reasons. I really do. There's not an actual good reason for you to say no. I don't understand why you're so judgmental about her going. So yeah, I do kind of think that you're the bad apple because you're just being, like, you're being a brat for no reason. I just want it out there that I'm like, this feels more petty than malicious. I just feel like you have a grudge against private school or private school kids for whatever reason. And I don't know, like, just why? That's my real question for you. Why? Final votes. We have 3 bad apples and 1 good apple. Those were my votes. Definitely tell me what yours were. I love to hear your reasonings, even if you don't agree with me, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people who don't agree with me on some of these. Even number 4, I can see people definitely like civilly disagreeing with me on number 4. I can see people aggressively disagreeing with me about the Classmate's career one, but I definitely want to hear your answers regardless. I love to hear your opinions. Before we go, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the little bell down at the bottom so we can see what we have in store for episode 14 next week. And I'm so excited because this is the last Bad Apple video that I'm recording on my iPhone. Ben and Tarzan and Jess were like, you record on your iPhone? Rebecca, you need a camera. And I was like, oh, cameras are so expensive. But I went ahead and I bought a camera. It will be here next week. So our next Bad Apple video hopefully will look a little better. And I got a microphone to go with it. So the audio will be what it is. I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be better. But I'm excited and nervous. Jess said that she was going to teach. That's Olivia Van Fox face. She said she's going to teach me how to use the things because technology hates me. And I'm going to go before I keep rambling. I'm just really excited. So hopefully you'll notice, like, the quality is just overall better. I'm very excited about it. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Nothing means more to me than how much you guys love this series. It just absolutely warms my heart. But I'll see you guys next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah!